Hello everyone, my name is Ilias Spiliopoulos and I will be presenting an executive summary regarding cloud computing and the benefits of moving to the cloud. So, a quick overview of our agenda. Today we'll start with a quick description of what cloud computing really is and its basic capabilities. Then we'll proceed with comparing the advantages and disadvantages of the cloud and analyze the economic implications of potentially migrating to the cloud. To continue, I will present a quick SWOT analysis to critically contrast strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats related to a cloud model adoption. We will end this presentation with a quick conclusion and summary, and I will allocate some minutes after the presentation for Q&A and open discussion. So, in simple terms, by cloud computing, we refer to all the services, applications, and data we access over the internet. We use the terminology of cloud as a metaphor because the clouds in the sky are ever changing, shape shifting, and they are an abstracted layer in which we don't really see the details. This is also what happens in cloud computing. We don't know where the exact location of the hardware is, and we don't really need to know because the physical layer is abstracted to us and not managed by us. Now, let's have a look at the basic capabilities of the cloud, starting with agility. The cloud model breaks the old traditional way of planning a project. In the cloud, you can spin up servers and applications in just a few minutes or hours in comparison to weeks that were needed until now. Moving on to elasticity. What is elasticity? Basically, in the cloud, since you have the power of on-demand delivery, this means that if and when traffic spikes in our website occur, we can deploy more resources on the spot to handle this surge of requests. Afterwards, when we are back to normal traffic, the newly provisioned resources can be shut down since we don't need them anymore. This scaling in and out can be configured to happen automatically. Thus, this elasticity allows us to stop guessing for capacity when provisioning and actually only use and consume what we really need. Now, on the cost savings, when you're using the cloud, you pay as you go. There is no need for upfront payments or capital expenses, and you only pay a monthly bill for the services you consume each month. A good analogy to bring in mind is the monthly bill we pay at the utilities company. We use electricity, and at the end of the month, the electrical company provider bills us for exactly what we used. Moving on, go global in minutes. Having a global presence is more important than ever in the 21st century, where technology and applications span all borders. You want your services or website to have low latency and good performance to the end users, right? With a cloud, you are literally clicks away of deploying your resources almost anywhere in the world. And last but not least, accessibility. As long as you have an internet connection on your laptop, that's pretty much all you need. You can access and manage your cloud resources from anywhere in the world securely. Now, moving on to advantages and disadvantages of the cloud. Agility. We've mentioned this one before. Everything happens so much faster in the cloud. This allows your developers to focus on developing solutions rather than building the infrastructure on which they later need to develop solutions on. This agility breaks the cycles of traditional IT service management and can empower and enable teams to work easier, faster, and innovate more than ever. Availability in the modern world is a must have. If a website is not available for some time, this could lead to a direct revenue loss. This is why when designing customer-facing solutions, high availability is always one of the first things to be considered. Usually, if we have to implement a robust business continuity and disaster recovery plan, we have to invest a lot of money, and most enterprises don't go all the way, ending up doing more risk management rather than disaster recovery. In the cloud, it's now easier than ever to set up multiple environments in different geographical regions and have automated data replication between those regions to enable minimum RPO and RTO. Furthermore, flexibility is one of the biggest strengths of cloud computing due to cloud's native elasticity. When provisioning servers, storage, network, and database resources, usually companies buy more than needed for the stable demand so that they can keep up with usage spikes. Though the problem is still there since no one can anticipate the exact amount of demand of a service in the future. And in the meantime, when demand is low, the majority of these resources is underutilized but already paid for. Last but not least, cost savings. The more capacity you use as an enterprise, the lower the price per unit will be in the end, something like getting discount if you spend more on the cloud, which lead to big economic savings. This is also called economies of scale. So, on the other hand, there are some disadvantages, of course, related to cloud adoption strategy. Firstly, we have hardware which is operated by the third-party cloud provider. There might be unplanned network interruptions and downtime. Even though the most popular public clouds are designed to be resilient and redundant, sometimes downtime is inevitable unless you have a well architected solution. Furthermore, there are privacy concerns that have been raised over time, like data ownership. When we host data on the cloud, how much control do we really have over their ownership? Multiple regulatory and compliance agencies are continuously auditing and working with cloud providers to ensure the privacy of our data, but there is still a job that needs to be done to secure our customers' data to potential cloud platform vulnerabilities. Now, diving a bit deeper on the economics of the cloud model. By combining the benefits of agility, availability, and flexibility that we talked about earlier, there is big cost avoidance opportunity. Due to cloud agility, go to market is accelerated, deployments happen faster, thus reducing billable work hours in the execution of a project. By being elastic in the cloud pay as you go model, this means that companies need to pay monthly bills of actual compute, storage, and network usage. So this, what you see here is an example of our Paris location on-premise footprint. I have calculated the rough estimated TCO of our on-premise footprint and the TCO of the equivalent cloud deployment. As you can see, the TCO of a cloud model is almost half of the TCO of our current on-premise footprint. What is really important to note here is that the cloud model costs are only OPEX and no CAPEX is required, making budgeting and annual planning easier to manage. Apart from a TCO perspective though, we should also try and get a grasp of our return on investment. Keep in mind, this is a rough ROI calculation since the details are estimates on the soft costs like go-to-market acceleration, which might improve our revenue, for example. Innovative cloud tools and technologies may enable us to create new products or solutions, or even create new channels and verticals on which we can capitalize on and increase our top-line revenue. For a more holistic and accurate ROI calculation, to show the true power of leveraging the cloud, we need to further study and work alongside project management, finance, IT, marketing, and sales to materialize those new revenue streams. For the sake of this demonstration, though, let's hypothesize that we see a 3% raise on our annual top-line revenue. With our annual revenue currently being at $100 million, a raise of 3% would give us an increase of $3 million. Our investment in the cloud adoption is 3.4 million, in which we can subtract the 2.65 million that we just saved by moving to the cloud, and this leads us to 750k in investment. Following the ROI calculation formula, we can see that we have a positive ROI of 400%, which is astounding and definitely not negligible. Of course, every change involves risk, and this is why I have prepared a SWOT analysis to discuss what our strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats are by adopting the cloud model. Firstly, we have our strengths, which are apparent cost savings, new revenue stream, flexibility and elasticity of the cloud, plus easier globalization and more direct content delivery to our customers worldwide. Our weaknesses are comprised by mainly our legacy systems that run in the current on-premise model. We have legacy and complex applications and architectures that might prove harder than usual to migrate to the cloud, and we might need to re-platform or re-architect a big part of our infrastructure. Moving on to opportunities. Cloud services will continue to grow with increasing competition from both established players and new entrants. Also, leveraging cloud solutions, we can always stay on top of competitors by offering the latest cutting edge technology and solutions via our platform. Unfortunately, there are also threats associated with a cloud migration strategy. Due to the IT strategy change, we might lose good and rare talent that might be afraid of changes in their working environment. Furthermore, cloud architectures can become quite complex, which might lead to hidden costs that we haven't anticipated yet, like backup costs, increased migration costs, problem solving, or even service recovery costs. Alright, so it's time to sum everything up. So, as you understood, cloud computing is here to stay. It's currently the number one IT buzzword that you will hear everyone talking about, and it happens for a reason. The benefits of cloud computing are far too great to skip on, and sooner or later, whoever doesn't operate with a cloud model will most likely find himself in a market competitive disadvantage and will stay behind. Don't get me wrong though, cloud is not easy. It is relatively new technology which still keeps on building more features and services. It can become quite complicated to fully migrate environments, but not unmanageable. We still we need strong and qualified individuals with deep knowledge and understanding of the cloud to fully utilize its capabilities so we can capture the market opportunity. Last but not least, even though legislation, regulatory compliance, and standards have come a long way in the recent years, when it comes to data management, security and privacy is still the greatest concern for companies when it comes to adopting a cloud solution. Thank you all so much for taking the time and bearing with me for this executive business review on cloud computing. Please feel free to raise any questions or concerns in our Q&A session and discussion time, which starts, I guess, now. Thank you.